Good evening. We're delighted to have you on this week's edition of Wealth Creation Through Industrialization. I am Hadiza Olaoshibiko. Tonight, we shall be taking you through the Diasporan Day celebrations which took place recently in Abuja. This year's edition had in attendance the Vice President, Architect Namadi Sambo, who stood in for the President, Secretary to the Federal Government of Nigeria, Ayim Pius Ayim, Chairman, House Committee on Diaspora, Honorable Abike Dabiri, and top officials of the federal government agencies. The theme of the celebration is Diasporan Nigerians, Agents of Investment and Development. As you recall, the Bank of Industry, through its various products targeted at them, continue to play a leading role in encouraging Nigerian diasporans to come home and invest. Don't go anywhere as we bring you the high point of this year's Diasporan Day celebration as captured by the Wealth Creation crew. Enjoy the program. In his address, the Vice President of Nigeria, Architect Namadi Sambo, who represented President Goodluck Jonathan, expressed the federal government's appreciation to the diasporans in their contribution to the Nigerian economy.
This year's Diaspora Day celebration is special as it is taking place in the midst of ongoing activities and programs to celebrate Nigeria's 100 years of existence as a country. In order to permanently put a structure for the celebration of Diaspora Day, and not only for the celebration, to harness the huge resource that could come from human and financial, that actually could come from our brothers and sisters in diaspora. We propose that a diaspora center should be located in the city. And the expectation I had discussed with the Chairman House Committee is that the entire city is purely private driven. If no government is going to build anything for anybody. And my expectation is that I understand that we have about 15 million diasporans, Nigerian diasporas. If we contribute $10 per month, for 1 year we will have about $15 million. And with $15 million you can build any manner of complex that you can designate diaspora center and have a standing management that will organize these events on a yearly basis and actually channel your resources and energies to appropriate places towards the development of our country. And let me enjoin you to take up this challenge, to drive the building of the Diaspora Center so that your concepts and ideas can be accurately incorporated in the center. At this juncture, I am pleased to announce that the groundbreaking for the city is scheduled for October this year. As I look forward to welcoming you as promoters and investors in the Centenary City, I wish all of you a memorable Diaspora Day celebration. I thank you for listening.
First, Mr. Vice President, so of course we know that Nigerians in the diaspora this year alone remitted $21 billion to this country. This is more than any foreign direct investment that Nigeria has ever received. For us as a committee, today, Mr. Vice President, sir, will be launching the Diaspora magazine. This is our own contribution to celebrating every one of you all over the world. This is our contribution to showcasing Nigerians who are excelling everywhere in the world. On the cover of this magazine is a Nigerian who owns Gatwick Airport, Mr. Adebayo Ogunlesi. How many people even know that a Nigerian owns Gatwick Airport and is going to buy another airport? We have a Nigerian building railway lines all over the world. We have Nigerians in this hall, Mr. Vice President, sir, who are excellent in all their fields of human endeavor, whether it's medicine, architecture, journalism, IT, science and technology. And sir, we said if we are going to produce 10 editions of this magazine, we can do that right away because in this hall we have enough materials to fill that. So congratulations, my brothers and sisters in the diaspora. Let's channel our energy to developing our country. Let's channel our energy to make Nigeria truly the great country it is. And we ask ourselves the questions. If you are excelling everywhere in the world, how come you're not transferring that to your country? We can't achieve that if we are fighting one another. All the organizations should come together and work together for the progress of our country, for our children and our grandchildren. And I'll end with my popular Yoruba saying. It says, Omi ki shan, ko gbagbe orisun e. It doesn't matter how far a river flows, it can never ever forget its source. Even if you try, you can cut it off. This is your source. This is your home. This is our country. No matter the challenges, nobody will build our country for us. So my brothers and sisters in the diaspora, the ball is in your court.
Let us see the diaspora as a way to increase the quality of life of the nation. Who said that this, the largest black nation in the world, must constantly be at war with itself? Everything relates to the educational system. And I have called for a continental revolution in how we educate our children. We have to begin at the beginning, starting with the classical civilizations of Africa, with Kemet and Nubia. If Asia has India and China, and Europe has Greece and Rome, why not start our classical education with the classical civilizations of the Nile Valley? The youth must be taught to pledge to the nation, to accept individual responsibility, and to fight for a sense of righteousness and justice. We must teach ourselves not to be beggars. This is not our legacy. It cannot be our history. Self-reliance is a fundamental element in the rise of nations. Nigeria is like many nations, a conglomeration of many ethnic groups, all seeking to assert the best interests of the nation. Every nation is fragile. So when you hear people say that Nigeria is fragile, remember that after the killing of Trayvon Martin by George Zimmerman, even the most conservative blacks in the United States believe that the United States has not yet succeeded in creating a non-racial nation, and it is fragile. Nigeria must know the precise figures of its diaspora. Who are the Nigerians and how are they living in China, in the USA, in Japan? I saw Nigerians in Tokyo speaking perfect Japanese and doing business like they were at home. Nigeria must have special programs or projects for the diasporans. What do you want them to do? Give them special achievable projects for the country. If they are men and women of high ethics, then they should be asked to be honorary representatives of the state. Nigeria must call some of the diasporans home in the same way that China and India have done with their diasporas. I want to close and say to you that Nigeria's diaspora is great. It is 15 to 20 million, but it is even greater if you tap into those who have now discovered through DNA that they are also Nigerians.
You should be very proud that our remittances and investments in our fast-growing stock market, real estate, and other business ventures, educational support, capacity building, and humanitarian activities, most especially the medical missions, are all increasingly impacting on individuals and communities across our country. Thank you very much. This administration recognizes these important individual and collective contributions. We also recognize that Nigerians in the diaspora are a vital and indispensable resource in our effort at national regeneration. We are therefore determined to strengthen our productive partnership with you. I must, however, emphasize that the success of this partnership is contingent on the active participation, goodwill, dedication, unity of purpose, and coordinated resolve of all stakeholders. As a concrete step toward achieving our objectives, this year's Diaspora Conference should be greatly focused and result-oriented. Nigerians in diaspora must now respond positively to the invitation to come home and contribute to the development of this nation. This is not an invitation to walk the red carpet. It is rather an invitation to join in the odious task of putting this country on a sustainable path of progress where all of us will realize the dreams we seek across borders. The task of taking Nigeria to the pinnacle of development comparable to the major industrialized nations is a task for all of us, not least Nigerians in diaspora. There is no better time than now, and there has been no better opportunity than as currently presented for you to become a part of our collective efforts in building a better future for present and future generations of Nigerians. Today, Nigerians in diaspora must be agents of change and development and proponents of our economic emancipation and unity. Your wealth of experience, when effectively harnessed, will go a long way in moving us to our desired and deserving position. On this note, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to declare the 6th National Diaspora Day and Conference open.
Shortly after, the week-long event was declared open by the Vice President. The technical sessions began in earnest with a presentation from various government development agencies such as Bank of Industry, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria (SMEDAN), and Industrial Training Fund (ITF).
What we do in ITF is we collect 1% of the total payroll of any organization in Nigeria. 1% of its total payroll is contributed to ITF. We call it training contribution. The reason for this is we want to have indigenous manpower enough to man Nigerian economy. And the sole function of ITF is to have vocational and technical education or vocational and technical skills enough to man the Nigerian economy. If you are able to train this staff across the board, we will reimburse you up to 50% of what you have contributed. So you too, you are helping the country. We have 32 area offices nationwide, so we are not far from anybody. We have 4 training centers. We have a model skills training center in Abuja presently. Please, I'm inviting you all, if you have time, to come and visit and see what we have. Okay? We have autotronics, mechatronics, computer repairs and what have you. And we have 4 of them centers, one in Abuja, one in Lagos, one in Kano, one in Lokoja, and the staff training center in Jos, 1. So 4 for skills training, 1 is for the staff. So I think I will pull it off from here, and thank you very much for listening.
We've been able to do some things in the MSME field. The agency had been able to put into place a national MSME policy. Before now, Nigeria had no policy guiding the MSME subsector, but the agency have been able to do that. We've also been able to have a data bank on MSMEs that operate in the country. Through that survey, we've been able to certify that there are about 17 million MSMEs in the country. We regularly organize capacity buildings for existing enterprises or entrepreneurs and potential entrepreneurs. We also did a baseline on enterprise survey, providing information on what are they doing, how are they doing what they are doing. We've been involved also in different diaspora initiatives. We've taken some youths from here in partnership with some American NGOs and US government, taking some youths to US, and they've started their own businesses. About 20 of them have had access to funds, and they've started their various businesses. We've also helped in preparing over 300 business plans. And most of them have had access to various forms of funds to start or expand their businesses.
Basically, what the bank does is to fund the industrial sector to support industries, more or less. So we are set up to finance large and medium enterprises as well as the small and micro ones. We actually, very recently, decided to include what we call the bottom of the pyramid, the very lowest. So we strive to fund the whole spectrum of industrial activity in the country, from the largest to the tiniest, because since we are government-owned, we have a responsibility to reach as many Nigerians and as many Nigerian enterprises as possible. So essentially what we do is fund manufacturing enterprises. You have to be involved in manufacturing or producing something, because we realize that to get our economy growing and developing, we need to, like someone earlier said, to recognize areas of competitive and comparative advantages and honing them into viable enterprises or business activities that will engender growth, economic growth, and grow our GDP. We're looking for Nigerians. We don't want to fund foreigners. As a policy in the bank, we say to people who come to get financing from us that you must, if you're a foreign company, a foreign-owned company, you must have a minimum of 20 to 40% Nigerian presence or ownership. So we are looking for credible, serious, well-meaning, industrious Nigerians to support. So we are happy to be here to tell you what we do and to let you know how we can support you and to let you know that the Bank of Industry is available for you. You don't need to know anyone to come in. If you have a bankable project, we will guide you. Apart from giving you the money, we will also, we have advisory services. We will guide and direct you, practically handhold you to making sure that you succeed.
Immediately after the technical session, the Vice President launched the Nigerian in Diaspora organization, NIDO, as well as Diasporan magazine.
It's my pleasure to launch the Nigerian in Diaspora organization emblem, NIDO. On this cover page of this edition, Mr. Adekal, who is a Nigerian in the United Kingdom, who today owns a Gatwick airport.
Òwe tí mo bá lẹ́ẹ̀kan ìyẹn ni ilé àbòsími oko àjò lè dàbí ilé àbòsími oko. So for those of you who don't understand Yoruba, I was just greeting you welcome, good morning, and I used a Yoruba proverb on the drum to welcome all of you home who are traveling from a long distance, because there's nowhere like home. Thank you.
Of course, there's nowhere like home, just like Kayode, one of the diasporans, performed on his drum. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the program. Before we go, we would like to remind you that the Bank of Industry is good and ready to support your business, which must be involved in manufacturing or processing of Nigeria's numerous solid minerals, agricultural produce, and any other natural resources abound in our great country, Nigeria. Kindly visit any of the BOI offices nearest to you and tell us how we can work together. We look forward to seeing you so that together, hand in hand, we'll lift your business venture to another level. It's on this note that we'll conclude this week's edition of Wealth Creation through Industrialization. I am Hadiza Olaoshibiko. Have a lovely evening.